How much is your ad spend at the moment, monthly?
I'm at $3,000.
And right now, you remind me, we are somewhat at like 1.5 to X ROAS.
Although we were, but like now, I mean, now it's like, let's be honest, like 10x. If you count
Ah,
10
yeah.
years.
So it's like 250 in, turned into 1.5K, and what, 9 calls already?
Yeah.
I like that now we are 10x ROAS on this campaign. Fair. Yo,
Anyway.
Alex, we had some issues with internet, but now great to have you here again. Let's first quickly introduce what you're up to, how you first found me, how we started working together, and then like break down the plan for us to go through next steps.
All right. Yes. So my name is Alex. I run a startup which basically offers AI for local businesses, and we basically like I've been a VC before this. I had some, but saw this exact AI technology when I was, yeah, working in VC fund, and I really liked it. And then I basically quit the VC, and then decided, had some personal, first financial successes, and decided to start my own business. And then in a half a year, I again searched through stuff and find this to be a great opportunity. And then I started a startup, and I guess from the very beginning, because I kind of know how startups should grow. Right? They shouldn't like stay for years beating their head down on the table or on the wall. Like, hey, we're not getting any customers. Give us money, please. That's not the way startups work.
I think you met too many people like this in
I
your
know.
VC career.
Yeah, this is like, yeah, a picture. I know that that's not the right way. Like a small epilogue. If you look into any kind of like successful company ever, right? Like Amazon, like Google, Facebook, any kind of, like, they had some traction and extreme growth in some way in the first month. Okay, it's like never happened. For 5 years, they're like, hey, we're searching for money. That doesn't happen. Okay, it's like a power law. And so obviously, like, you try to find solutions, right? Okay, that was the first constraint. Okay, let's say I build a product, right? We built a product with the developers and stuff. I'm technical, so actually I built the initial product myself, and then I hired developers afterwards to kind of maintain it and improve it, and it's the way it is right now. And so the first constraint of any business is customer acquisition, right? So, when you have the
The
product,
main one from
the
my
main
perspective.
one, yes, that's the life of the business, and people don't really think about it hard enough. And yeah, as I said, the crazy part is they spend years and never think about it. That's like, yeah, that's always kind of amazed me, when I was VC. And so I was, I really very quickly, right, in like 3 weeks, I knew I have a great product, because we started with this local business company of my basically friend, you can say, right? Built out the product with them really nicely, very fast, and then I started to look into different customer acquisitions channels, right? I looked into Apollo, right? It was, like, for outreach, it's not bad, it's not bad. I don't think it like works really well for local businesses. And then, like, very fast, okay? Like, I tested a bunch of stuff. Even, I was actually in the beginning, I was actually doing it for not like other service businesses. I was trying to do like like first month, like 3 weeks, you know and then very quickly, I always knew that, actually, I knew beforehand that, like, meta ads is like it's the thing, it is the way to go. And I was thinking, okay, when I was going to get there. And I decided, then I, like, for I guess a week, I cold I got another customer, one customer. It was the second customer. And then I thought, hell, fortunately, I can, like, afford this. Although
To be spending 20 hours a week to
yeah,
get one meeting. Yeah.
it's BS, like, and I can afford, and I think anybody can, like, let's be real, like, $600 like a month. Okay, I spend 25 bucks a day. I think anybody can afford, if you're starting like, it's it's like for 2 weeks you can try that at least.
You started with like $600 ad budget.
Yes. Say 600, 750 for a month. Okay, and
Yeah,
then and then I got traction for that, and I increased that a bit to $35 a day. And then again, we are going too fast. So I always do about Dennis, right? I saw Dennis in my.
I think we initially got like you mentioned you first found me through one community we both are in, and like you passively checked out my stuff for almost a year or something, right?
Yes, yes, and yeah, I was, when I was still a VC, I looked at this guy and said, "Man, this guy," because I know how great, you read through the, through the, basically through the, lines, right, and you see this guy and this all these founders, and I say, "Man, this is." Like, whenever I do something similar, I have to try this guy. Extremely important. I try this guy, and I remembered this when I was like, hey, okay, Meta is the thing. Hey, this guy, right? And then I, started to basically implement all his strategies for which because it shares a lot. Dennis, you share a lot. Okay, your Telegram, your YouTube, like, and I actually made an AI version of Dennis. Dennis
Yeah, yeah,
self.
you told me like the Denis GPT, which was guiding you through this campaign setup.
Yes, yes, and yeah, and yeah, and whenever I have any questions, I have lots of questions. I always ask him, right? And I just asked him, and he corrected it in some ways, and that way I figured it out. My first campaign, and basically in 2 months I got to 7K MR.
And this one you told me was just Denis GPT guiding you.
Yeah, that's GPT, like free stuff that is shares in a structured way, right? And and then I thought, well, hell, that's the time, because obviously I was going to get Dennis. I just didn't really want to get Dennis in the beginning because I thought, well, it's not because he also mentions he wants to work like with, and it's obvious because the first time it's not, there was a lot of stuff you go through, right, with the product, with the stuff like that, with what customers you are really serving, whom are you not serving, right? And then and so in 2 months with this luggage already and 7K MRR, I also kind of came to this prepared and you know uh, understood that our time will be spent the most efficiently.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely. Because it's interesting how the reason I love this project is so much is because the foundation was already there. Because like thanks to this Danish GPT, much respect to them. But basically, you came to me, showed me like there was one ad format which was clearly winning over the others. So like my first instinct was, okay, guess what we want to do. If there was this one ad format which got you all the way to 7K MRR, what happens after we put 20 more ads around this winning format? Well, now we're going to talk about what happened. But basically, before joining, you mentioned you were somewhere about like one meeting a day with meta ads. Like, what's your cost per call? Do you remember the rough range without like looking
Yes.
up and so on?
Cost. Yeah. I
The- yeah, yeah.
Okay. So it was something like, you know um, it was something like cost per call is, yeah, it's not written here. So it was something
Yeah,
like, like 40, I guess, $40, maybe more, maybe
yeah,
80.
yeah,
I don't remember which one was bad. It was because there was like two stages of that ad campaign. One was bad and one was good.
yeah,
One of them was like 90 bucks. I think. Yeah. The good one actually was like 86, and the bad one was 200 and some cost per.
yeah. Okay. So what happened basically is you come to me. I clearly see that there is one. Basically, instant forms have already gotten you to 7K MRR in 2 months, which is quite decent. especially considering you've been running almost no ad spend,
Yeah.
frankly, like $25 a day or something. So that's why, as I remember, the first thing we do is I tell you, okay, let's double down on the winning ad format, and immediately let's start looking to place a setter, because I knew that if, well, of course, long term, I think we're gonna be testing VSL funnel as well in your case. But when instant forms, I think they're super underrated for local businesses. You can set it up in like half a day, and honestly, you don't get just to 7K MRR, but if done right, I had a client hit 150K MRR doing just this, nothing else, but he had a killer setter and closer team. So that's why I knew that, okay, you clearly are closing. Back then, it was what close rate for you? Like 1 in 4, 1 in 3?
Hold the same. So it was about 50. I mean, at the good time, yeah, it's like right now it's like kind of the same numbers to be like 50.
It's like almost 50%, you said.
Yeah, 50%. Man,
Yeah,
I'm not good at closing. I've been a VC. I close big stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
talking to this like local guys, not that hard.
Yeah, yeah, true. So basically, that's why I knew, okay, we want to maximize your time on calls closing the deals for now. So that means that we want to have someone doing the setting so that your time goes into the right thing. And that's why I think it was there are not as many cases when people join, when the first hour I tell them, okay, let's start looking for a setter right now because we already have something that's working. So that was cool. And that's how, I guess, can you just walk me through what we've done over the past 2 weeks and what's happening now?
Yeah, so we've done. I became a film director basically. And an actor, and a director. A lot of
you,
UGA
you mean the ad director for shooting
and
everything?
yes, yes. And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I would say actually you are the director. Let's be honest. I like the producer. I don't know. Okay, so yeah, we shot a lot of ads like with me talking,
And
and
that's now the winning format is like direct offer them of the product, yeah.
yes, yes. So yeah, three formats: AI testimonials, and then the demo, yeah, the code demo. I mean, like the demo, like demo format, and then
Yeah.
me basically.
And yeah, and can you just walk me through like what so you were booking like 5 calls a week, and now you're at how many?
So it's 6 yesterday. So
So now you're like 5, 6 a day.
yeah, I would say yes. That's correct.
So I think with the first proper campaign we launched, I think on roughly similar ad, or like almost similar ad budget, we've gone from like what, 5 demos a week to
Correct.
25 or
Yeah, I would
something.
say yeah, I would say something like that. Yeah, because they are, the thing is, there's also difference. They are more motivated. The crazy part is actually because this campaign is, the structure. I didn't have anything. It's like so
Yeah, and honestly, when I saw that, this ugly ad, no copy here, no copy there, you
no,
being a lazy ass, getting
yeah.
back to people within 1 or 2 days, or someone not even getting back to them,
Well,
I'm like,
it was fast. It was fast in the beginning, but yeah, but yes, yes, correct. But
and it's just because I understand that, like, look, for instant form funnel to work on local businesses, the two most important things are our creative and our speed to lead. Your creative looked awful and your speed to lead was non-existent almost.
oh yeah,
So,
in the beginning it was, but then yeah, it like
and
slowly.
then you told me, like, the moment you started making some money, you told me, like, you started becoming even lazy, like calling people
Yeah,
back.
now, yeah, yeah. Well, now when I don't do marketing, I am not really fond of my setter right now. We are changing. I already found better ones, so it's not like. But I'm the guy actually like doing the setting. So
Yeah,
to
yeah.
be honest, like
Be-
I'm
because you're because
wow.
it seemed like the first setter you hired in the couple days didn't perform as nicely, so we already replaced for another one.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay, cool. And yeah, what were we talking about? That basically two things which we fixed first is, okay, doubling down on the winning ad format. Second was basically minimizing speed to lead, because ideally we want to keep it between like 5 and 10 minutes, because otherwise we just miss out on so many opportunities there. And you said that the call quality changed as well.
Yes, there was the same guy which came from the last campaign, and now he was kind of interested, but he like just didn't make it to the call. And this time he was like, "Great." Still, so like the call went great, everything went great. He came to the to the meeting and everything. Like he didn't make it last time, so like but just not so much motivation. And yeah, and I'm it's like too early to say, but I think like quality of people like is significantly increased. I
Well, because what's your show up rate right now, even with you selling to local businesses?
mean, I'm saying like six. I mean, show up rate is, I would say, 70%. Like for
Nice,
this.
because like selling to such demographic, anywhere above 50%, you're in a good spot. I think that having a trained setter and having them book calls ideally for like either same day or next day, and having packed calendar for the same next day and maybe one day after max, this is like the best practice for high show up rates. Because now look, it's already great that you're closing at 50%, and because ACV is something like you told me 400 $500 ish.
ACVs.
Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like I think it's gonna increase because yeah, but yeah, 500.
because I see like it's basically one part of the equation to get decent close rate yourself as a founder,
Mhm.
but it's like completely different picture attempting to get someone else to perform as nicely for you. So I think one of the main things for us for the next few weeks is going to be to design your this so-called trust gallery, and basically pre-handle all top objections even before the demo. Because with that sorted, I think not only we're going to go above 50% on the calls which you run, but also I think that this closer we're going to be bringing on in the next couple of weeks, they should perform nearly as well.
Mm. Of course, yeah. That's a great insight. The thing that you showed me with that FAQ thing. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, the idea behind it is the following: when you're getting this cold traffic leads, many people think that you need to have conversation first and then you share this gigabytes of information after the meeting, trying to convince them over text and stuff and so on. However, I know, and like from my experience closing enterprise deals and other people I know who specialize in enterprise deals, 95% of work must be done before the first call. Because if you get the right decision makers there, if you get them come prepared and pre-handle their top objections, you just gonna cut months and months from your sales cycle, or in your case like weeks and weeks. Also, can you remind me like what was the initial sales cycle for you and how did we change this?
That's so now they just pay. It's like,
Wow.
wow. And then it was like, okay, here's your thing, and 2 weeks free, and then if you like it, you can pay. And to be honest, it did work in the beginning. We're developing the product. There was, to be honest, like it could have worked. Like it could have worked from the very beginning, like that, because the product was already really good. Like people,
Yeah,
I was even feeling this. People are like, you know. People are like prepared to pay at least 50% of the time. They were like, hey, this is so great. I want to like, oh, really? 2 weeks free? All right.
yeah. It's like uh you say that it's nice that you came well prepared, having idea of ICP, etc. But honestly, I think if we started this at like zero MRR, by now in 3 months you'd already hit like 20K or more.
Yeah,
Honestly, because the reason is because I made this stupid mistake myself building startups like 6 7 years back, when I was afraid to be selling my product because, oh, I just built it, I have so many features not ready, etc. And I was like giving discounts and giving super long as free trials. The most awful things you can do when scaling an early stage startup, because if they are gonna buy, they don't need to try it for 14 days,
That's correct.
especially if they
Yes. Yes. You just filter out tire kickers, right? Oh yeah, I'm going to try, and then man, can you do cheaper? Like, can you go down a bit, man? Can you give me a discount? No, I can't do for that. I can do for this. Like, I banned the guy like that.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why I believe that the core priorities is just getting as many motivated buyers on the front end into your calendar, because you don't want to be talking to any tire kickers because they're going to be stealing so much of your attention and like seeding this doubt into you that you have many features not ready, and like the product is not complete, you cannot charge this much, etc. All this is like such awful feedback for you to even hear, that is like
Exactly.
moves you so far away from having a successful startup. So that's why first things we do, we increase the stipulations for them to be getting into meeting, for them to be considered as qualified. And second is and second, basically, we make sure that they start getting the right amount of information before the meeting, because with that equipped, instead of them spending a couple weeks telling you, oh, maybe give me a couple more days, whatever, like the sales cycle is just so important, because if you cut your sales cycle from 14-day free trial to getting, ideally we want to maximize our conversions on the first call, because then you can just go to Excel and draw the graph and see how crazy it compounds if you have 1 or 2 day deal cycle versus 2 to 3 week deal cycle over a 1 year long time frame, you know.
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. We'll get there.
Yeah, yeah, true. Then basically the next things for us, I would say, getting this to 20K and 50K MRR, I would say that even though I want to be very cautious and not worry too much about this backend tracking, another mistake I've made, about like having all these crazy charts, all the pie charts, and etc. And I'm honestly positively surprised that with your VC background, you don't have like all these thousands of
What is
Excel
this?
sheets, lookup tables, and all
That
this.
was a proper VC.
Yeah, yeah.
Proper VC.
And all of this, because funny enough, without, well, maybe I worked at EY and that's why, but that's actually the way I built some of my startups. Is like I had no customers and like the craziest automations,
Yeah.
fantastic like lookup tables, pie charts, everything, and then like almost no people on the calendar. Well, you run business, you learn. And now I just like, and you first showed me that like you got to the first 7K, basically all you had is like a broken Excel, not even Excel, like Google Sheet. I ask you how many people you book. You're like, some like here, there are some somewhere there, because you just, and I love it so much, because by prioritizing sales over everything, that's actually how you do get sales and traction. I think, however, it's a good timing for us to introduce the speed to lead tracking, because especially with you hiring setters, you can just rely on them telling you, oh, I get to them very fast. Well, this doesn't work for us. So ideally we want to maintain 3 to 5 minutes within work hours, because thanks to that, like you tell me, it's not an issue right now, your lead to demo conversion, but over time we want to make sure it's dialed in. Right now, by the way, what is your conversion from lead to demo, and from demo to close sale?
From lead is, about, I would say 60%, 60, 70 from to demo, 60, let's say 60.
So 70% of people who opt in from the ad, you get them to a demo.
Yes. 30% is the from that, from like 10 people, let's say 30% is closed deals. 50% from the demos and 30% from all the leads.
Yeah. And with you, basically, you mentioned that earlier you were taking 2 to 3 weeks to close them into, let's say, whatever, for $400. Right now, how is it looking, your close rate on first call versus like how much impact has it been towards collecting cash on first demo?
Oh, it's so so better. I don't know what do you want to hear. Yeah. It was like, yeah, we have a call, and next day they pay us. That's it. And now too, right? We're like, they'll just pay. Starting the subscription, MRR, edit. Like,
Nice. I
that
think,
makes
yeah, I from the last time we looked at the numbers, I think you already were like about 2x return from ad spend into MRR. And I would say many startups, like what they don't understand is if you are anywhere close to break even on your first month's payment, unless you have a super awful product where old people churn in the second month, and if that's the case, you shouldn't be doing SaaS. Like, or you must really reconsider what you're up to. So let's say that you break even on first month payment, and then from there you just stack 6 to 12 months of LTV, all being profit. And I've seen so many founders make this mistake that they're like, oh, I put 5K into ads this month and I only made back 4K. But like, if you account for 6 to 8 months of LTV, that's the actual ROAS you need to be looking at. It's like ROAS to same month's LTV. No, wait, ROAS on cash collected and ROAS on LTV, because as long as you know that you are turning $1 into $5 to $7 within like 6 to 7 months time frame, and you're confident in this, and usually you are, unless you have an awful product, um, it works.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, yeah. Do you know in your industry, like for let's say from maybe some your competitor research, do you know the average LTV they
One
got?
month. I mean, 1 month, really, like bad ones. Because I believe everybody's bad except for me. I really believe that. Like,
Yeah,
there's like,
because
like,
it,
yeah, because it's like it just does, is, or either it works or it doesn't work. It's such a significant part of the like business, so it's either works or it doesn't work.
yeah,
It works. If it works, it's like wow. But if it doesn't work, they just
yeah.
because we have customers. One of our ad angles is that you know
Mm-hmm.
you remember, right? One of
Yeah,
the
that
big
the current solution sucks, dry
yeah,
hours, and
correct.
here's the live how it works.
Yes, because it's like I believe like the LTV were gonna be like very 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 low.
True. And I think last week we were also talking about different pricing models and stuff, and I got it in my notes here that aside from you just taking the usual MRR you were doing now, um, I think when you start onboarding the closer in the next few weeks, it's going to be important that we don't get crazy about downsells, because I understand that in a niche like yours, it may be that you start like, because right now, who are the types of guys who make your best leads and customers? Like,
Research,
what's the business stage usually? Is like them having a team of 10, or what's the story?
yeah, a team. At least
Yeah.
a team.
So
Team is actually like if they are not alone. That's like very very different than when
yeah,
they're alone. That's like already.
I the thing I wanted to bring up is, a lot of people. So one thing we should start doing is when someone is happy after the first or second month, you invite them to be upsold into an annual plan with a discount. And I think we should look into more incentives there, because as the more cash we can collect early, the more freedom we got to test more in our ad campaigns, then scale even quicker. Um, I just have seen one situation how someone has hired a closer, and at the same time they said to a closer, look, if you see someone is not very if you see someone is not super 100% qualified, then just go ahead and pitch this downsell. But usually, like the common practice I'm seeing is that it often damages the whole business
Yeah,
having a stack of different downsells, because then the motivation of a closer just becomes like, oh, let me just get couple smaller wins instead of like the actual deals that he should be going for, you know?
I don't know. In my industry, I'm not sure. Well, it doesn't really work. Like of course, in the beginning, you kind of try to do stuff like that, but there is like a threshold which I just
Yeah,
don't go lower than like it's if it's not, like, okay, goodbye, all right. Because if they are not, I don't know, if they can't pay that, it means that's exactly why I made the ticket the way it is right now, right? The tickets, because if it's there's like, if the person can pay, like, let's say, two times less, right? 250, it means he will be able to pay 400 and 500. Okay, that's just, and if they can't pay 250, it's like, goodbye.
yeah,
It's like a kind of also a power law, that it doesn't really like make a lot of difference to them. So, yeah, I kind of also try to avoid it, and yeah.
yeah. I hear you. And regarding our business structure, which we're going for the next like 50K and 100K MRR, we already discussed it. So can you just remind me like how you see it?
Yeah, the business right. Well, all right. So there is,
In terms of like setter team, closer team, stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah. So there is a closer, there is a setter.
And I think about the 30, 40K mark, I think we can start looking into bringing on CSM as well. You told me you're training someone inside your team already.
Actually, yes. I am training it. She's already doing it, like, because yeah, well, it's as I said, it's like a significant product. Like it's not like a nice to have thing.
Yeah,
Customers have, and it's also AI, as we said, that they have like some stuff they talk and ask, and she does that, and with the new customers too. Okay, so I trained it from a developer to that. Maybe we can bring somebody else, but I'm thinking that maybe she will transition into that role because she really understands the product, because she's
yeah,
like a developer, but she's also, I think, good at this too. And then maybe I can just bring a developer, and she'll become CSM.
yeah. Because the structure which I think we're pursuing in your case is ideally within 2 months having you not do anything but managing people and stuff like that, because as much as I but and by the way, another point I wanted to make is now I recalled why your close rate is 50%, because we also have enough lead flow and good enough creatives to be giving price upfront in the form, so that now they come already knowing the price, making your job so much easier, you know. Yeah, regarding the company structure, so I think that right now we are training one setter. Plus, you have how many developers? You said
Two.
two developers.
Two.
So I think honestly, I would see getting more than two developers as somewhat of a mistake, because I think it's plenty for now. And you told me that they're legit already.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess the priorities for us would be that this week we ramp up this setter you just brought on, and then at the same time we try to see how we can use our tool as an A/B test, like because I know that having human there does work. It's just we want to A/B test it against actually using a similar tool to yours to like set the meetings for you, you know.
Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Because at scale it can work nicely. So I think that it's going to be for a 50K MRR plan, I think it's going to be two developers, 2 to 3 setters, 1 to 2 closers, and one success manager. Because this way, I think if you can once you offload this onboardings and customer support to someone else successfully, then all your all your time is going to be just look. I think the best practice would be that you're going to be doing check-in calls daily with your like setter call closer team to make sure like how the pipeline is going, etc. And then besides that, this would be shooting more winning ads, because and then us testing additional ad funnels, because as much as instant forms are great, I think that there are two other ones which I would prefer for you to for us to A/B test in the next few months. One is going to be the quiz funnel, is where you send traffic to a type form and disqualify all the irrelevant traffic, and you attach your pixel tracking to only qualified opt-ins. Because this way, we're going to be using the superpower of this pixel algorithm, and it on paper it actually should be smarter than just using instant forms. So if your lead quality is good even now, with that it should be like, I don't know, even 2-3 times better, because it's just going to be collecting data, 1,000 more data points. And then the other funnel, which I just want us to test too,
Yeah,
it's
I
going to
will
be
say,
the yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the classic VSL setup, because there the intent may even be higher, just because people also need to book themselves. Plus, again, this one is going to be pixel based, so again, we're going to have this leverage of having Meta track 1,000 more things about people we're sending.
Hmm. But by the way, I have a question. For VSL, the setter should still call and confirm.
Actually, I was recording a module on this yesterday, and yes, one mistake I see is people are like, "Oh, but they booked a call themselves. They show up to call. That's when we start the sales process." No, the sales process actually starts the moment you receive the lead form, or like the notification, because then you can also use your setters to get back to people who book on a VSL, so that they their job is going to be maximizing people's preparedness and show up rate on calls. The way this is achieved is they get back to this person who booked through VSL, and they first want to qualify them or disqualify them, so that your closer's calendar is not full of BS calls. And secondly, they want to make sure that the person goes through this trust gallery before the meeting. Because if you can get 8 out of 10 people pre-handled their objections before the meeting, they know the price, etc., then you can scale with much leaner sales team as a result. Because instead of you tolerating like the standard 10-20% close rates, you can have like still 30 to 50% ones at scale, which is going to be allowing you to hit not only 50 but also 100k and 200k MRR with much leaner team.
It'll be awesome. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
yeah. So because that does happen now, right? Like it's not a VSL obviously, but that does happen because you know they come into the website and sometimes just boot them themselves. And the setter, I also like made her an SOP to confirm those calls
yeah.
because it's also very important.
Makes complete sense. And now, uh, what would you say to people who are right now on the edge of like watching or seeing some of my content and like choosing to work with me or not?
Well, I would say the following, all right? Uh, you know, uh, I think we're all very special people. It's because I'm as a person who went through, being a VC and seeing all this, right? These people, or how many like people who like try to, hey, I can help you with your B2B stuff, and like having a person who has an actual traction, it's just like a super rare thing. Okay, it's very special. So if
Yeah,
you think you
because
are,
everyone on the street can say, I can help you make $10
yes,
million in three
correct,
days or
correct, yeah,
refund you double or
yeah.
whatever.
Like if you have like this is I think the most you can get as to being verified in some sense, like without being like super like famous or something. We should probably will get there someday, right? Dennis? Right? But like at this point, this is like the best thing you can literally get. Like if you think you're also a special person, like we are, and the people Dennis work with, I think it's definitely a no-brainer. Was a no-brainer to me, and I was just getting to a condition, which why I thought, as I said, our work will be the most optimal.
Yeah, I think because also with just 3 fixes we've done to your campaigns in the first, I don't know, 2 hours of working, they're already gonna get you like your couple times the investment back in the first month or so.
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, like, no brainer, man. Like, if you think about 50K, 100 grand MR, like, okay, I'm gonna risk this capital, right, to like have a chance to get there, right? Like, or increase my chances. I mean, what capital are we thinking about? Now Dennis is gonna increase his program pricing probably.
I always do. I always do.
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah, because it's correct, man. It's like it just works like that.
And curious, yeah, from your perspective, in which situations you think it like makes the most sense for someone to be working with me?
Oh, as I said, I think there has to be some foundation, and for you to
At
know
least,
your.
at least some like I think a sweet spot is when they already understand what are the types of customers they want to be getting into their business, and then we build everything around that.
Yes, yes, and also, of course, having the product and having that understanding, because it's like, two different stages, of
Yeah,
startup, before that and after that. That's the crucial stuff. You have to understand, if you're like watching this and like, man, customer acquisitions. If you don't have MRR right yet, like fix this into your mind, customer acquisition, or so.
yeah,
And this is, I believe, yes, I also believe it's like the best way of getting.
yeah. Anything else you would tell to a person who is like on the edge right now, thinking to get inside or join or not?
Well, as I said, yeah, it's like I don't know what else I can say. Pretty much it. Yeah,
I mean, like, how different is it from Denis GPT and YouTube
well,
videos?
yeah, obviously you can compare. Like AI has very much, as a person who has like AI product, there are limitations which what you can do with it, right? Obviously.
I think it all comes down to prompting, because it's just you don't know what you don't know, and
Yes.
it's like you never yourself you never questioned like, actually, why the hell am I offering 2 week free trials when they can just pay me on the first call?
Yes, right.
Well, I tell you, you shouldn't. And like we cut the 2 week deal cycle into
Yeah,
one
yeah,
day,
but,
same time.
yeah, AI isn't there, I guess. Yes. So yeah, I
True,
mean,
and yeah,
I think another thing I would like to say, like, is extremely important is that like bootstrapping. I believe as a VC, I can rate, like, I have my friends, like, writing me, a lot of my friends, hey, maybe you should raise like half a million, a million. It's like, no brainer, bro. Let's do it. Like, whenever, like, I don't even like do it. I didn't like publicly state anything, like, mostly, right? Mostly like stuff, small stuff, right? Hiring people on LinkedIn, stuff like that. But they didn't really publicly announce that. And like, people are trying to give me money because they just want to get on the train, of course. But the
yeah,
very important part is that bootstrapping. I believe bootstrapping is the most is the test of the founder, because it is the way the businesses were made, or before the money was cheap. I think they said something like that. It's like, it is the original way, and it's like, it's not the fast way of getting there. Although I believe, like, getting to 100K MR, like, by booster, if that's not fast in a year, I don't know what fast is, but like, really, I think it's like the ultimate test of the founder. Okay, to get there with scarce resources and to use everything as efficiently as possible. And after that, I just, as a VC, if you see after, if you can do that, right, if you can do that, you can do anything. Okay, you can go shoot for the unicorn or whatever. Or if you, even if you are a VC funded, right, that's also great. Like, these figures which bootstrap founders get with Dennis, how many VC backed startups dream of, like, so. I think I went there. Right, so
you mean how many VC startups
dream of
what?
those figures, like 100K MRR. A lot of them dream of that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
VC backed people. Yeah, like, have giving millions, 5 million, 100K MRR. It seems like something. Hey, 100K MRR. I mean, a person raising $1 million right now in the United States doesn't have, MRR yet, so most of the time. So, you
Yeah.
know, and like a small percentage. If you give somebody $1 million, maybe you are the guy watching this, or maybe somebody gave you $1 million, right? And if you get to 100K MRR, that's a super success. Okay, that's 1 million MRR. That guy will say, "Man, my investment was successful," right? Like at least.
Well, just depending on when they jump in, it's like idea stage or at half a
Yeah,
mil.
that it also depends. Yeah, but like if you are, if you just like received it and you are at the idea stage, of course, yeah, I mean that, right? And you can get with this system like more also reliably. You can definitely jump on that because your investors will be happy.
Nice. Because I think that basically looking at it as okay, what's the actual roadmap to get this to 50K, 100K, and then 200K MRR? Because a couple guys in my program hit something like 250 to 70. Uh, of course, it's like larger teams that then kick in. But anyways, I think the most, well, even Harmozy talks about it, the customer acquisition cost is like the most important part of the business. If you can get LTV be 3 to 5 times of your customer acquisition cost, then you're set for success. So I would say that the core priority for us is going to be slowly removing you from day-to-day processes in the next few months while maintaining an ideally 2x to 3x profitability on campaigns on same month's cash collected. So because if, let's say, we know that we spend 5K in a certain month in ads and we get back 5K between 5 and 15 back,
Hmm.
we can then reverse engineer how much exactly we need to put down in order for us to hit any revenue milestone, because this is the ads leverage which we get from it. Because with content we don't have this as much, or with outbound we cannot, unfortunately, been doing this for years, but we cannot say, oh, I published this many videos, I'm going to make this much money. It doesn't work like this. With outbound, I wish it was like, oh, we send this many emails. Yes, of course, if you're sending huge mass market offer, huge audience, etc., it can work to a certain extent. But then I just don't like how it varies from one lead list to another. Here we have the three things which I think are so much more important for building a startup, which are having something which is high leverage, predictable, and scalable. Because with this means you can put amount of effort and get y, like 10x out of it, because you shoot this ad once, this same ad can get you all the way to 100K in the next year. Then it's scalable because, well, it's the funnels. I think instant forms, I've seen them scale to like multiple six figures in month. VSL funnels, they scale to millions in monthly revenue, so there's like a long way to go. Plus the quiz funnel, which I also name dropped there, it also does scale to over 1 million a month thanks to this meta pixel optimization there. And so scalability, high leverage, and predictability, which I think is the most important, because now with us knowing our unit economics, we can map out, okay, what our hires should look like when we bring them on, and basically plan how many meetings we want get at each point of time. And then, yeah, I think us investing 3 to 5K in ads, adding, actually, we can even calculate it. How much is your ad spend at the moment, monthly?
$100 a day. I mean, it's just 3 grand.
And right now, remind me, we are somewhat at like 1.5 to X ROAS.
Although we were, but like now, I mean, now it's like, let's be on like 10x. If you count
Yeah,
yesterday,
actually, on this campaign you just
it's
launched three
different
days
from when
ago.
you started. I
How
mean, it's
much you spent
3x.
on
Like
it already?
if you count the yesterdays like that, you get like 3x. I don't know. If you count 2 days, let's say, it was Sunday. They didn't really want to do sales calls on Sunday, so I mean, I don't know. For 2 days, it's gonna be, yeah. I mean,
So the current one is like you put couple $100 in and you collected over 1K already.
yeah. So 1K.
Not bad.
I
And
mean,
that's
actually,
from
it's
like,
more, 1.5. So like the sales call, which I stopped because I already sold the guy. Like it's
Yeah.
complete. I'll just have some information for the product, but like I stopped it so we can record this. Like that's gonna be 1.5K. So
But wait, so this means like you launched the campaigns when Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday,
Okay, and how and you spent like what 250 on
300,
it so far?
250. No,
250. So it's like 250 in turned into 1.5K and what 9 calls already?
yeah. I mean not nine.
6 plus 5 or wait.
Six. Yeah, six. I think six. No, because there were no. There was one on Sunday. It was six yesterday. One, three, four today. Gonna be one was already today. Probably gonna
More
be.
than 10 basically. Yeah, yeah,
Should
yeah.
have been more to be honest,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the setup isn't great.
Love it. Okay. I like that now we are 10x ROAS on this campaign. Fair. But conservatively, let's take 3x ROAS on campaigns. I think, like, look, unless we mess up with hires, which I think having a good talent pool, we shouldn't. The plan to me looks pretty much clear. So let's say we're turning 3K of ad spend into, like, even though 2x ROAS is 5 times less than what we're getting right now, let's plan out for even 2 to 3x ROAS. So in simple terms, we put 5K a month into ads. We turn this into 10K a month MRR. This means that we do this for what 4 more months. We're at 50K a month.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And actually, and then I think we can then have this team dialed in with 2 setters, 2 closers, CSM, and developers. And then with this team of 7, I think with costs, I think it should fit into the 15K ish, like the whole team. So the setup is going to look something like this. You do 15K team costs, under 10K in ad costs, adding you 10 to 15K MRR monthly, and that's how we arrived to 100K in the next actually half a year or so.
Mhm. Yes. Let's
And you
go.
know why I love
Go.
working with you on this project is because it's not just like us, as coming up with some potential stuff, but rather whatever I recommend you do, your ratio of executing things quickly is just so high that I know all the stuff is going to be done within 24 or 48 hours. So this means this is like, well, we already know the winning ad format. Now we just make 100 more winning ads, which combine to 20 ones, which are already winning, lol, in 2 days. And yeah, just make sure that our team is dialed in for us to process all that.
Correct.
Awesome. Been fantastic chatting with you here today.
Hey,
And
likewise. I was so happy I got this channel actually. Like, it's like, yeah.
what you're saying once again, you say?
What?
You were saying once again.
Yeah, I said, this is great. I thought I would get to this channel one day, but this like happened pretty cool, quickly.
Love it.
Yes. Yeah.
Love it. Awesome. With that said, I think we're going to be chatting shortly with you, updating me on the next sales coming in.
Mhm.
And yeah, have a fantastic rest of the week.
Okay, you too, man. Great
See
chat.
you.
Bye.
Bye.